Today I want to talk about isolation seasons. I think a lot of people really view isolation as a bad thing, but honestly, with the right priorities and purposeful time, isolation seasons have been really the biggest catalyst of growth for me personally, and I've seen it time and time again where that is the biggest catalyst of growth in other people's lives. There could be many reasons as to why God separated us. It could be that we had bad influences. It could be that we're called to a different path. It could be that God is really seeing that the only place that you'll turn to Him and you'll focus on yourself is if He takes things away from you. It's so important to not only one, keep God first, but two, love yourself. The Bible does say that you need to love your neighbor as yourself, but you can't love your neighbor until you love yourself. And I think a lot of people really lack the development and time with self. Sometimes God separates us just so we can become a friend of ourselves. I know a lot of times that people in seasons of separation just go in and like search for more friends, but God is asking you to make him a friend. He's asking you to make yourself a friend. Some people aren't even friends to themselves. Can you be in solitude? But furthermore, God is developing you. You're supposed to be developed in this season. And maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, well, I just have so many things, that I've developed already. Like maybe you're far ahead in your career. Maybe, you are on one accord with God. Maybe you have a good business. Maybe you're bringing in good money. Maybe you've been working out. Let me just tell you that the things that God wants to do with us are far beyond what we could imagine. His ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And I know that there's always another level. Like, for example, I'll use myself. I have been kind of in this season of isolation for a prolonged period of time, and I'm on the tail end of it, but the lessons that I've learned from it have literally changed my life. And one of those things being that I need to be purposeful with my time. Being purposeful with your time is the best thing that you can do in this life. Our days are numbers, and every seed you sow today brings a bigger harvest tomorrow. When you understand that, you start purposefully trying to sow seeds every single day in and day out, making small changes, working towards goals, and structuring your life around your vision. You realize that the things that you used to do, the people that you used to spend time with, the things that you used to spend your time on, it's a waste of time. It's distracting. You can spend your time bettering yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. And if you're not bettering yourself in those avenues, is it because you're distracted by things that you should be separating yourself from? If God has you in a separation season, ask Him what He wants you to learn in this season. The thing that a lot of people don't do right when they're in isolation season is they're not embracing the discomfort and the separation that comes with it. Sometimes it can be unexpected. Like we didn't expect for, maybe a community to not serve us anymore. Maybe we're in a different location. But if you embrace the isolation and focus on the right things, make it purposeful, it can be honestly the best thing you ever do for yourself. Sometimes we literally get nudges like, I need to separate myself, or I need to be doing more, or I really need to focus, I need to lock in. Well, sometimes you have to separate yourself. Sometimes it's not God forcing a separation, but you feel the conviction to separate yourself. And I think that's when you know it's time to go to another level. Even just a simple example, I was a part of a few group messages and I left them all. Every group message that didn't have like my best friends in them, I left them because I felt like they were a source of distraction. Naturally, over time, I have literally lost my appetite for social media. I realize it's kind of a waste of time and I could spend that time doing other things. Sometimes you need time to yourself to just get organized, get structured, write business plans, write a vision and make it plain, write your goals down and how you're going to get there, and timelines and writing a budget or where your money should go. Productivity and research. I spend a lot of my time doing research on things that I'm curious about, things that I want to be knowledgeable about, skills I want to obtain. We're in this day and age where there's so much information out there. If you're not trying to better yourself or learn something, you should be, because there's limitless amounts of information that could be bettering you, whether that's the next career move, or whether that's something that leads to a side income, or your health, or the way you interact with people, even just reading books. Spend your time with self progression, discipline, moving towards your vision of yourself, where you want to be. That stuff does take a lot of time. I think one of the best things that God could have done was separate me. Of course, maintain a social life. I have healthy connections to people who are equally yoked, and I'm not saying just cut off the world and go be under a rock. But what I'm saying is, that you need to get somewhere. That there's new levels. That you have a vision, and that vision does require you to not dilly dally. It requires you to focus. A lot of people have trouble like recognizing their gifts and their purpose, and you find those things in the quiet time. A lot of the quiet time is where you get revelation, and you obtain knowledge and wisdom that will move you forward. And a lot of the things that you obtain in your quiet time are things that no one can take from you. The knowledge, the skills, the growth, the discipline, the understanding that you get in that quiet time is literally things no one can take from you, because that's inner work. It's not the cars and the flashiness and the achievements and things like that. It's the quiet things. When you do the work and you have separated, and the silence makes you focus, and then your focus leads to progression, and your progression leads to results. After that, doors open that you didn't even have to try to force open. You know what I mean? There's nothing better than putting the work in, because you will reap a harvest. It's not even possible to plant seeds and water them daily and give them the right conditions and then not get a harvest. Like, you're going to get a harvest. You just have to put in the work, and you have to know what you're working towards. And a lot of that is found and discovered, and you obtain those skills for the end result in the quiet time. And sometimes that's exactly what we need. So embrace it.